What's up, Fusion Corp fans? This is Brenda here, along with Pete. And today we're going to be talking about kind of a sensitive issue, a racial issue. We're going to be talking about Pewdiepie and him dropping the N-word with a hard ER. Probably in my opinion, the worst thing you could probably say.
I mean, yes and no, right? I mean, all bad words are bad. There's other slurs you could say that are just as bad. It depends on how you want to take them, right? But the way that Pewdiepie said it is what makes it about as bad as it gets, right?
Yeah.
Because there's no... I mean, it's just hard to explain, because let's use an example of somebody else who's white on YouTube who says the N-word every once in a while. That's iDubbbz. I don't know if you ever watch iDubbbz TV.
I think I've watched 1 or 2 episodes.
Every once in a while, he will say the N-word completely in parody, right?
Right.
And it's usually quoting somebody, because originally it's total backstory. Somebody called him that word once, right? So he's quoting this moment in time where somebody called him the hard N-E-R, bad word, right? So Pewdiepie takes the word and uses it literally in the worst context you could do it, other than directly calling a black person to their face the word.
Right.
I mean, it's just such a bad look for everybody,
Yeah, I mean, that's just the thing. I just don't understand. The thing that kind of shocked me in that video was the way that he was saying it made it seem like he uses it, like, constantly. Like, if he was just playing with his friends. Like, it seemed like he was so casual with it that...
I agree.
It made it seem like he uses that word a lot.
Yeah. It's pretty representative. There's another dude, remember Nick28T? He's a big FIFA YouTuber, did the same thing. Got frustrated at a game of FIFA, I think, and said the N-word. And I feel like I never say the word. Like, I feel like if I ever got frustrated, that definitely wouldn't be on the tip of my tongue to blurt it out.
Yeah.
It's just, like... Man, when you're at the top of your platform, whatever, regardless if you're at the top or anywhere on it, it doesn't make it acceptable no matter where you are. But you need to be so conscious of that word and words like it and what you say, that the fact that he said it the way he did, like you said, just goes to show that he probably throws the word around more often than anyone should.
Yeah, I mean, that's kind of like the thing and my issue with him is that, I mean, we've already had like the Pewdiepie issues before with the anti-Semitics, and
this one really screws him over, though, right?
Yeah.
In the sense that there was a lot of people, I would say almost more so than not, by the time all was said and done with his last scandals,
Yeah.
were on his side, because he really was kind of screwed. But it puts him in this weird negative light where it almost retracts what people thought of him or what people came to think of him after that,
Right.
Because now the whole anti-Semitic Nazi thing is like, I still don't think he's a Nazi, right? I just think he uses a word he shouldn't use. I don't think PewDiePie's a racist.
No.
Maybe that's controversial, but I don't think he is. I think he just uses a word that he has no background of knowing what it means to other people. Because in Sweden, there's no history of black oppression in Sweden.
At least that we know of. I mean,
for the most part, right?
Yeah.
I'm just saying, like, as far as the history in America is concerned.
For
It's
sure.
not the same in Sweden as it is here. So he probably doesn't have the context that other people do, which isn't an excuse for him, but he just uses a word that should never be used loosely, and that's just not acceptable. So it brings back the Nazi thing, and it might make other people be like, oh shit, this dude's a Nazi,
Yeah.
Maybe he actually is anti-Semitic as well as being a racist.
Yeah, and I think the thing I really want to hit home on is I think there needs to be a change in the culture for the gaming community and just the YouTube comments itself. Because when I scroll down through videos, or even just listening to people on team chat, I just hear the N-word just being used with the hard ER too, not just like with the A.
Yeah.
The hard ER is being said so many times, and I've seen it so many times in the YouTube comments.
Yeah.
That it's just like, I don't understand why no one like has context of what that word is and what it means. I mean, like, you guys, I mean, they still teach it in history class. I mean, maybe not to the extent.
Yeah.
That
maybe not in Sweden.
Even not in Sweden, but even not in Sweden, just here in general. I mean, like,
yeah.
I feel like the majority of the gaming culture here, I mean, they just throw the word because they think, oh, a word's a word, but that word can't just, I don't know, when you know about it yourself,
yeah,
and you've done your research and history about it, it's just like shocking to me that they just use this word so casually.
Mm-hmm.
It's just disappointing to see that kids, you know, like 12, 11, are just using this word.
Yeah.
Without any like understanding or meaning behind it. Like, I'm sure if the parents heard it, I mean, I wish the parents would be involved more a little bit in it.
Yeah.
But I wish that the parents would hear it. They would literally slap that child and tell him, hey, that's something you don't use.
Yeah.
Because you need to know the history of it.
Yeah, and I think internet culture is partially to blame. I'm not saying internet culture is bad, but I think it is to blame, because let's use PewDiePie as the example, right? Like I said, he probably doesn't have the same backlog of like, hey, don't say that word, you know?
Right.
He doesn't have the history lessons that our country does in Sweden, probably, right? So for him, being on the internet, he knows how bad the word is. He speaks English. Has a giant following and plenty of comments that say the word every day on his videos. Like, he has to know that for him not only to use the word at all, but in public on your live stream, it's like, it couldn't be worse example for all the people too who watch your videos.
Yeah, I mean, especially because the channels that, not the channels, but like the companies that back you up, like, it's just not good for them. But even not just talking about the commercial side of it, because it's just, I don't know.
And here, I'll carry on with something else that's related. I think almost more shocking to me and like disgusting is the way that like the YouTube community reacted to him saying it in the tweets and stuff of people like, Adpocalypse Part 2, here we go, you know, like that kind of stuff. Like, they're more worried about how it's going to affect their revenue stream and their income, which I understand. Like, it sucks that your business that you're starting, like, we hope to get there one day too, and I'm sure we'd probably be pretty bummed if we lost an advertiser due to something that some Swedish dude said, right? I understand it, but at the same time, when you're more concerned with, hey, I just lost NatureBox as a advertiser on my Let's Play, more so than the effects that something like what PewDiePie said has on people who watch YouTube videos, you know? That to me is almost more disturbing than one dude saying the N-word, is how almost brushed off it was by a lot of big YouTubers who were more worried about their money than the repercussions of saying the N-word, you know?
Yeah, that's just I mean, that's a great point that you brought up. It's sad to see that society has come down to a selfish type of feel to it, where it's like, oh, it's only about me. Like, oh, thanks for screwing me over. When really, it's just the word just has so much history behind it, and it, you know, black people really they get really upset when you use that word, and rightfully so. Mm-hmm. There's so much history behind it, and how white people would use it to dehumanize black people, and it just, I mean, I don't know. It's just gone to a point where
I think it's like a modern day dehumanization of the word, you know, by dehumanizing like how that affects people still to this day, and just saying, hey, my ad revenue is going down. Thanks for saying that word, you know, rather than saying, hey, you have a lot of viewers, and you probably have a lot of young black viewers too. what do they think of you now? It's like probably plenty of kids who their hero just said the worst word they can imagine. Like, how does that affect all those kids? You have 55 million subscribers. Probably not 55 million people who watch the video, but still. And I'm sure a lot of them don't care at all. That's the worst part about it. It's like people don't care, and then you have these kids who are like hearing their idol say this word, which is either they're learning that it's okay to say it, or they're saying, wow, even my idol says that word. You know, I can't escape it.
Yeah, like whether PewDiePie wanted to be an idol or not, he is the...
Agreed.
He's the front runner for YouTube. Like, screw a Jake Paul, screw a Rice Gum.
Far and away the biggest YouTuber.
The biggest YouTuber. And you just use this word so casually, so freely, as if you use it in your everyday vocabulary.
And he's marketed towards kids. Like, I know he curses in his videos, but really, PewDiePie as a YouTuber is a kid's channel. Yeah. I don't know any adults who watch PewDiePie. Like, every adult that I know who's on YouTube actively makes fun of PewDiePie and people who like him because they're kids. So you just have to, he has to be smarter than that. You know, it's not even being smart. It's just like being more human than that. I don't know how else to describe it.
Yeah, he just needs to, like, I wish he would read up on it or just really learn about the history of how black people had to really endure this bullshit that happened to them.
Yeah, it's probably too little too late at this point, though.
I mean, of course he apologized and, like, you know, whatever the sponsorships that he has, whatever ties he has, if they break it, that's, you know, he has to accept that.
He's fine regardless.
I mean, he's fine because he's a millionaire, so, like, he's going to be okay. But, like, the making more money, if they cut the ties with him, then he has to realize that this is that you need to use this as a learning experience.
Yeah, just on, like, a business level, like, the damage he's done to his career this year is, like, I don't know. It's just the damage is done, so to say.
Yeah. So I mean, we'll see where he goes from here. But I'm hoping that he kind of does something noble.
That'd be nice
for the community.
That'd be a nice act. I agree.
Like he should like really get to know some of the people and like actually talk to black people and say and learn like why this word is like bad to say and like what the history behind it is.
Mm-hmm. Or even just take a step back from YouTube in general. Like, if he's to the point where he uses that word loosely too, who knows where his head is at on a, like, internet level, which sounds weird, but it's something you have to think about, you know? And, I don't know. I think he needs to take a step back and probably disappear for a little bit, do some things to fix his image, but it's done and over with now, you know? Yeah. You can't take it back.
Yeah, but
I just hope people start to think more about, like, the videos you're putting out are influencing your viewers, you know? The kids are the biggest demographic on YouTube by far. So not only kids, but the people who have been watching you for a long time, you need to know that what you say and do are affecting them in some way. Whether it be good or bad, there is always bad, you know?
Right.
And that is a big bad.
Exactly. Well, hopefully you learned from this. Again, I want to thank you guys for watching this video. I know some of it was a little bit tough, but please remember to like, share, and subscribe to this video, and we will catch you guys on the next video. See ya.